Morning all. Right, how I fixed a solar panel to my Talbot Talisman. I don't know whether you can see that there, it's a bit windy, but what I did, because there's no where I can put a bracket, and I can put a little small bracket on here, but I didn't think it's strong enough, and as you can see I put a decent, I think it's an 8mm bolt, metric. I drilled it into the lower section here and put the bolt out, put a nut on the end, and then the gap between I then put that on. So I've got these on there, and to say it's rigid is an understatement. It did help. It hasn't moved, I've checked it a couple of times. I will put a safety chain on by drilling the back section here and just looping the chain on here and one corner there, perhaps just in case, but I have every confidence in that. But that's one way I put that on. There's just no way of trying to put a small little L-shaped bracket on, because either A, the L-shaped brackets were too big or too small, and being too small I think they fractured quite easily. But I think a bolt like that and an exhaust clamp grip like that, and it does grip, I can assure you. It isn't going anywhere, and it hasn't gone anywhere in 600 miles. So there you go. So it's a bit of a cool day. I'll take it inside. Oh, this is the MPPT. The reason I got MPPT is because if you buy the normal cheaper ones, they just totally fill the battery and overkill it. In other words, they cook the battery. Use MPPT. I think they're only about £25–30, and there you see the solar, the battery and a load. What I've done with this one, of course, there's a little light there so you can see. You can see the charge coming in. There's 2.3, 2.6 amps and a load of 1.7 amps, which you can see, and the battery is full. The reason I put a load here is the load, the two whites, of course, going down into the ZIG unit. If I press the button here, you'll see that fully charged, water pump, etc. There was a switch there, not mine. So those two white wires go to the back of the ZIG unit, which is taking the load, which also in theory comes off the big batteries here, and the solar panel is also charging the front battery. Simply because if you actually then break it down a little bit further, if I put a load on here, all the power is coming from the main engine battery. This hasn't got an auxiliary battery fitted, which I've now fitted. Okay, so this is what this is for. It's not a sunny day, but it's now just a little bit of a tickle through. The load's dropping because I've been messing trying to get the lights working. I still can't get my lights working. And then down here, oops, there's a practice now, is a converter, not inverter, converter. This is a fairly new one that the previous chaps had fixed, and basically the inverter is when you plug into the mains, this will charge the battery and give 240 volts. I've got a better one than this, and of course the wiring's done okay, it's fine, lovely. And so really trace these two wires up to the ZIG unit, and then I connected the solar panel to those. That's got to be tidied up still, okay, and which will of course give you the power. The batteries are underneath the front seat. I don't think you know, the batteries are pretty obvious. I bought some Trojan batteries. I don't leave this plugged in, I just take it out, but if it's a dark evening, it's very little power that's using. So there you have it. Cut off loads and everything else. If I put a load on, headlights or whatever, which I haven't got, you'll see the load being drawn, but at least then hopefully you shouldn't have a flat battery. So I'll just unplug that, there you go, pop that down, and that's about it. I'll show you the batteries. Right, these are the Trojan batteries. These are only second hand. I got them at a reasonable price, as I thought. Evidently you can see the connection. The black looks rather thick, but it's only the outer coating. It seems to be like a lot bigger than the other ones. But they're 25mm square copper, and then the solar panel wires are these ones here, which you can see go into that, so they're constantly charged. And of course, I'm not telling anyone to suck eggs, you always connect the battery to the MPPT solar unit before you connect the solar panel. Don't connect the solar panel without connecting the batteries first, because you'll blow the solar panel charger, or you know, the, I don't know what it's called, anyway, that thing. So you always connect the batteries up first, etc. Put the wires to the battery, feed them through, which you can't see, it's underneath there, and that goes up to the cupboard where the solar panel is, and that's where the charging unit is, the distribution unit, and then solar panel to the unit, otherwise you'll blow it. And then of course then I'll put them into the back of the Zig unit as the load. So hopefully them 4 batteries are overkill, I know that. I mean, I only want really 2, but I've got the 4 for the same price as 2, and there's only me camping, as he says now, so there you go. And that's it. So 4 Trojans, and there you have it. So that's the solar unit. Check the batteries ever so often, and Bob's your uncle. Actually, Bob isn't my uncle, but Fanny may be my aunt. Cheers.